Welcome back. It's episode 69 of the
I'm
a part of episode 69. I
we
feel really honored now.
We should have saved her for 70 and had some sex talk today.
Oh, that would have been a good idea, Mel.
Damn it, Cortnie.
I didn't even realize it.
Forgot.
La chavaste.
We about to rename this one 70 and then do a 69 after.
Wow. Wait, pause. Well, I'm your host, Cortnie. I'm joined by my amazing bestie,
Melissa.
Also joined by my wonderful husband, Mr. Sound Engineer Babe. And we have a wonderful guest with us, Zaidy, who is a longtime friend of Melissa. I feel like you should be doing this intro. I'm sorry.
Stole your fun.
Take over.
My sister's here.
We were actually talking about this in
Zaidy.
the car. We can't really even call each other friends because we've been in each other's life since babies.
That's
and
so cool.
We're like the sister that we both wanted in each other. I mean, I have another sister, but this is my sister.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's nice. Well, Zaidy, welcome to the common room.
Thank you.
We happy to have you here.
Okay.
Yes. Better? Melissa's pushing the microphone in her face as we speak.
Teamwork.
It's like put it in her mouth. Put it in her mouth.
Whoa.
Pause.
Just
It
for the
was
69
just for the
episode.
69. It was for the 69.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, I guess we should get into these trending topics, which is really not much. I don't have much. I don't know if you have anything, but
I've been hella off of social media.
good for you. Sometimes you need to take a break.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah.
I follow too many conspiracy pages. I'll be hella stressed. I'll be like, I can't fucking do this anymore. I need a break.
Yeah, I hear you.
What time is it? It's trending topics time.
Did you you sent me this picture where they posted a picture in NBC with Kevin Hart
Yo.
saying
Yo.
Usain Bolt
That's
is tested positive for coronavirus. But Kevin Hart's picture for Usain,
That's messed up.
y'all know good and well that wasn't.
They picked the shortest
Kevin Hart
motherfucker
is
to be one of the tallest
first of all,
motherfuckers.
Yo, Kevin Hart's well known amongst the white people.
Yeah.
Come on now,
Yeah,
y'all.
he's-
Come on now,
He's
y'all.
true.
worldwide known.
That's
He's
true.
worldwide.
Oh, they
love
did that
him.
on purpose.
Yeah.
He wasn't having it. He was like, yo, this is disrespectful on so many levels. But he was like, he said he's no longer doing comedy due to his new Olympic training schedule.
I don't blame him. That's fucked up.
He's so stupid. Prayers to anybody who was affected by Hurricane. Who? What's her name? Laura.
Damn.
Anybody
Lauren.
down there? Lauren.
Who's Lauren?
She said it real like
Yeah.
Lauren.
Like y'all motherfuckers don't know shit.
Lauren.
That was close. But no, for
Laura
real,
girl.
like prayers to anybody out there. I haven't seen the news, so I really don't know how badly they were affected, but I'm assuming it was bad because
Yeah.
it was like
Louisiana got
Category
nailed.
4.
They got
Yeah.
nailed. Yeah.
I heard it was bad, but that it wasn't as bad as they anticipated, luckily.
thank God.
And I watched some of the news yesterday morning, and it was no deaths as of yet. So
Thank God.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
God, because I thought that was gonna really take out half the state.
yeah, so
The
I
way
think,
they were talking about the storm
I think
surge.
it's okay. Yeah.
But you know, it's funny. They said that one of the Confederate statues in Louisiana got taken down by
Yeah.
and it was like maybe 2 weeks after people were trying to get the government to take it down, and they like refused to.
What you trying to
God
say
was
over
like,
there?
nope.
Nope.
Was it God or was it the people that went out there during the hurricane and knocked that shit down?
That's some crazy shit if you got in the hurricane.
Intervention.
Let me push this shit over while the wind
They,
is blowing.
they
you know?
went right before it started after they cleared the streets. Like, take this shit down. Take this shit down.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much it for trending topics.
That was it.
but I did discover something quite disturbing today, that my child does not know what my name is.
What do you mean? What do you
It's
mean?
mom. What
She
do you
doesn't know
mean?
my name. No, but like it's fine.
You
but
ain't gotta
like,
teach her though.
Yeah.
What?
but I did, but let me tell you, because we were in the office before, and I think you asked her, right, babe? You were like, "Oh, what's my name?" And she was like, "Chris," and I was like, "Oh, what's my name?" She's like, "Mom." I thought she was joking. I was like, "You really don't know my name?" Because I've told her before. She really didn't know my name.
I think she was messing with you.
Because
Because you know she's got that mean
She
streak.
does. She messes with me
Yeah.
all day,
Yeah.
all day. But I was like, "So you know Daddy's name? You don't want to say my name?" I was like, "You really don't know?" She's like, "No, I don't know." So
Yeah.
So
sad.
you told her.
Yeah, I did. And then she forgot it immediately.
Dang.
It's okay. The neighbor does the same thing to you.
Oh my God.
Hey.
Yo. Oh man, I don't know who listens to this
Yeah,
podcast.
no.
Never mind. I'll tell y'all
But I'm
afterwards.
gonna tell you something. Being in the this is terrible. I'm probably shouting myself out for saying this, but being in the building all those years, I don't know half the neighbors. I know people's faces, so everybody's sweetie. Hi, sweetie.
Yeah, that's a good one to do.
That's how you
They
gotta
his
do it.
type names everybody.
But
Well, they
Huh?
love it.
what'd you say?
Who doesn't love to be greeted with affection?
No, this is why people don't like me. Hey, keep it right the fuck
Yeah.
moving. Hey,
Look, I never remember anybody's name, so I'm not gonna judge you. But the thing with my neighbor is she been knew his name since day one.
apparently everybody know this motherfucker's name.
It's Bay, yo. Come on now. You don't know me.
Oh man, but she be calling me a different name every time,
Yeah,
like
Beatrice.
Beatrice, Constance,
Claire.
The
She don't
thing
even
that-
be close.
I put my phone number in her
Constance.
Donna.
phone with my name. Still don't know my name.
Every time.
But those are really like
She never called you, right?
No,
She be looking at her phone for
outdated names.
Beatrice, like,
Yo.
where Beatrice at?
she came over the other day to tell us something, and she was like, "I know you gave me your phone number,
Constance.
but I just wanted to come
Every
by."
time it's
Because she
different.
didn't know your name. She
Every
was
time
like,
it's a
I
different
can't
number.
find this name.
Mhm. It's so funny, but whatever.
just tell her, just call you sweetie.
Yeah.
You're memorable, sis. You're memorable.
What's her name?
Courtney. Courtney.
How you spell that?
C-O-R-T-N-I-E.
You sure? You sure?
Oh, ow.
Get out my face.
Thank you, boo.
Get out
Ooh,
my face.
that's my friend.
Okay.
Better recognize.
Bendito. You better teach your child your name, yo. Yeah. You better teach your child your name.
She didn't even
They gonna be
hesitate
like,
with him.
you gonna be at the store. Somebody gonna be like, where's your mom? What's her name?
Yep.
Mommy. I don't know that bitch. I don't know that bitch name.
That's what I said to her. I was like, what happens in school if they ask you who's your mom? Like, you gonna say
Mom.
mommy? Like,
Her name is Mom.
she know my name.
But
She
my
was
dad's
playing with
name
me.
is Chris.
Find him,
You'll
you'll find her.
Just call him.
Yo,
That's cute.
so hurt. I was so
Oh,
hurt.
I know you was.
I swear she
She does it
conspires
to you,
against
though.
me.
She does it on
She
purpose.
does. I know
does it
she
on
did.
purpose.
Because I told her to promise me that she didn't know. I was like, promise me you really don't know, and she wouldn't do it.
Oh,
So she probably knew. Girl.
She ain't right, man.
Have y'all seen the Republican National Convention?
No.
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 Oh Lord Jesus.
no.
Oh, it's rough to watch. I
Y'all
saw
missed
one
it?
day and I couldn't do it.
What happened?
It was just crazy.
Train wreck.
One of the okay. I don't want to go too far into it, but that chick who sounded like a
Oh.
freaking
The
dictator.
sellout.
You need to vote for Trump and
Yeah.
like she sounded
Yo.
crazy. Like it was horrible. And
She's,
she was trying to say that she was Puerto Rican, but
Don Jr.'s.
y'all don't claim her, right?
No. She's not one of ours.
Well, I feel like I mean I want to respect other people's political views, but
Mhm.
I remember when I was on vacation out visiting my family, we would pull up to the beach parking lot and there's a guy legitimately selling little Trump bumper stickers. I thought he was giving them out free. He was selling them.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
And he got people to buy them, and I was
Florida,
like,
though, right? That's Florida.
yeah,
Wow.
but
Yeah,
still.
Florida's
that's
Trump
a
country.
yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
They love him out there.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
he must have not wanted to approach our car because he knew he wasn't gonna get nowhere. We, knew,
Nah.
we weren't even giving eye contact.
Oh
Like,
my god.
He looked in. He's
This
like,
whole
nah,
election
I'm
joke
good.
is just
Leave those
crazy.
His wife looks demonic. Every meme I see her eyes, she looks real
Who
evil.
are you
Who's
talking
this?
about?
His wife.
Melania.
Oh,
His wife.
Mm.
She don't fuck with that.
She don't. He
Yo,
be trying to grab
why
her
he-
hand. She's
Why
like,
she
Yo, she's
stays
like, "Get off of
shaking
me,
his
yo."
hand off?
Yeah, that's crazy, yo.
you don't
Play your role that you got here with,
You know what I'm
sis.
saying?
Mm.
You still in the house, man. Until he gets kicked out, then you can get divorced.
Mm.
Damn.
She ain't gonna get divorced. She gonna stay there.
Nah, she gonna get money now for this. She gonna take half.
She'll stay there.
She
ain't
got
going nowhere. Who she
what's his
got?
name? The kids
Mhm.
from him and all that. She gonna live lovely. She
Think
don't
she
need him
still
now.
sleep with him?
Nah.
Ugh.
She don't even want to hold his hand. She probably ain't sleeping with him.
If she don't want to hold
Thought
his
of that
hand,
just
she ain't
as
gonna.
gross.
Did they have? I thought they had one, right? Or do they have more than that?
I think they
Together,
have
I think they only
Baron
have
and
one.
Baron
no,
and-
Baron
have
and
more than
somebody
one?
else. Yeah.
Really? I
So
thought it
they
was
at
just
least
the
had
little
sex
boy.
twice.
Is it just one?
I thought it was just a little
Oh,
boy
so then
too.
that was the commitment one.
She was like,
This
I'm gonna-
means we're
I'll make
married
it-
and that's it.
Mhm.
Never again.
Mm.
Once you got me my green card,
Oh,
because you know that's when they just became citizens not too long
Was
ago.
she an escort?
they did.
She
Huh?
was a stripper or something like that back
Yeah.
in the day. In a
Oh.
model, on a Photoshop,
Yeah.
a photo model.
Speaking of which, they tried to come for Cardi B and her WAP song, and they said that someone said that she should be more like Melania, and she was like, last time I checked, wasn't Melania selling that WAP?
Yep.
I mean,
You know?
Yep.
They tried to come for Cardi. Cardi was ready.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cardi is into politics and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so, you know,
she's
don't
not
mess with
as
her.
dumb
She
as
know.
people
She be
think.
knowing.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
And there it is for trending topics.
Bing, bing. Well, our lovely friend Zaidy is here today to talk about in vitro fertilization.
Yes.
Mhm.
Very serious topic.
Mhm.
You know, so let me start with the polls just to give you a second to, you know, gather your thought. Oh, what was that?
he put
That was that heavy
he put
ass
that
G you
volume
threw in
up.
there.
That's what he did. Nah, you put the volume up. Or something.
That sounded a little extra clear.
Yeah.
So I wanted to find out, or we wanted to find out, have you or someone, I didn't want to ask directly if like you have had trouble conceiving, because it's very personal, you know, and thank you so much for like being here to share your story,
No, you're
because
so
it's very personal, you know, it's
Mhm.
not something that everyone likes to share with the world and talk
Mhm.
about. So
Mhm.
thank you for your courage
You're
and
welcome.
bravery and all that stuff.
You're welcome.
Okay. I feel have you or someone you know had trouble conceiving a child? 68% said yes. 32% said no. Jeez, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Have you or someone you know considered in vitro fertilization, IVF, or want to learn more? 65% said yes. 35% said no. And have you or someone you know become pregnant from IVF? And it's 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, Zaidy, tell
So-
us about your journey.
All right. Well, first I want to thank you for having me on, because even though this is very personal, I feel like it's not something that's talked about very often.
Yeah.
And it's a very kind of like, I don't want to say taboo, but it's kind of like one of those things that people just should really speak more about.
Mm-hmm.
So Melissa and I always joked around because she was like, "You're going to hold it together?" I was like, I'm a crier. You know, I'm
I'm a crier
emotional.
too. It's all right.
So I don't know if I'm going to hold it together
I was
because
just like, can you get through the can you
Now,
get
baby,
through it? So yeah.
honestly, I don't.
We got you. I mean, it's normal.
we got the
It's
tissues
natural.
ready, so we good. So thank you.
Mhm.
So literally, I have done it all in terms of the in vitro world, where I didn't think I was going to be at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But to kind of like start from where it all began, I was previously married at one point in my 20s. Got divorced like right before kicking 30. And I was on birth control for a period of time. So I just thought once I had gotten off, and I've always had a very irregular menstrual cycle. So I thought, oh, it's just got to like, the hormones just got to kind of like re-regulate itself and, you know, start trying that. I thought maybe the stress of divorce, whatever. So once that happened, I realized, okay, nothing's re-regulating. Let me go check it out. Ran into a coworker, told me about the clinic that I go to. And she's like, why don't you just check yourself out? So it was there that I found out that I have polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I'm not sure if you know too much about it or.
I know nothing. We also have a nurse here. Jump in at any time.
Basically, it's like a hormonal imbalance. So I don't make enough estrogen to kind of like put it simply where it triggers my ovaries to say, hey, time to kick out those eggs and go through the regular menstrual cycle, which explains a hell of a lot of other stuff. Also, weight fluctuation, gaining a lot of weight, unwanted hair growth, acne, all that stuff kind of qualifies you along with like cysts that grow around your ovaries.
Okay.
To be in that category, to have it. And surprisingly enough, I want to say, don't necessarily quote me on the stats, but I want to say it's like 1 out of 10 females have PCOS. So I found that was crazy. And in this journey, the more I started talking about it, I found out so many people have it and just nobody says anything about it. So it does, that's part of the problem with conceiving.
Okay.
So, you know, I just checked myself out. Fast forward to when I wanted to start trying, which was maybe about 3 years ago. I went to the clinic. I was like, okay, I want to start trying now. What should I do? So they wanted to put me on, I think it was called Clomid, or there was another form of it. It was not, anyways, it's some type of progesterone to kind of like help you ovulate. So that's kind of like the basic format of when you're in the fertility world. They're trying to give you this medication to help you get your menstrual, and then you kind of like time yourself with your window of when you're fertile, and you go that route. That was not working for nothing on me. So I did that for a while because I wanted to try to conceive as naturally as possible. And then, of course, and then you get nervous because you're not sure what the heck this looks like. So then I decided, okay, I found somebody at the clinic that was doing an in-urinary insemination. So an IUI is basically kind of like that turkey baster method where they get you to ovulate, they track you, and then what they'll have you do is have your partner come into the clinic, produce sperm or at home, and then they treat the sperm, and then they directly inseminate it right when you're about to ovulate. So throughout this whole process, you're constantly in the clinic, and you're on display for whoever's in there.
Oh, wow.
Because there's like, you have your attending physician, you have like the resident doctors there, and then the students. So it's like it's like a party up in there. I was like, and I'm shy with that. So I'm like, hi. So can we quickly get that together so we can turn the lights down? Because just look at the screen. But and then what they'll have you do is do it one trigger shot. So like right before they feel like you're about to release, they'll make you take a shot in your stomach, and you wait a day over, and then they take your partner's treated sperm, and then directly inject it into your uterus to give you a higher chance of conceiving. So I did 6 rounds of that.
Oh
wow! The third time out of my first round. Does that make sense? I did 2. They were failed. The third one, I got pregnant. That was the very first time. I didn't think it was ever gonna happen, and I was like, talk about like really extra. Like, I fell to the ground I remember we were by City Island. There's a park over there, and when me and my boyfriend found out, I fell to the ground, and he was like, "What are you doing, babe?" Like praising God. I was just so happy. So it was for me, it was a miracle. And unfortunately it was short-lived, because then we found out that I started to bleed at one point. I thought that it might have been like what's that called, implantation bleeding. I thought it might have been that. And I also thought that because I also continue to take so it's another vaginal insert of progesterone that you also have to take if you don't make enough of it. So during this time I was taking that as well to help support the lining of my uterus. Anyhow, long story short, we found out that the baby was in my tubes. So
it didn't drop.
Yeah, it was an ectopic pregnancy, which like broke my heart. But so in order to get rid of safely, which I hate talking about this, but in order to I didn't like have a choice; it had to come out. So in order to safely remove the the baby at that point was to give me shots. Like chemo shots. So I had to go to a clinic where people were getting treated because they didn't want to operate. If they would have operated on me, I could have lost my tube. So that was a mess because I felt bad. I go to this like treatment center and I have all these cancer patients around me, like really fighting for their lives, like taking chemotherapy, and I'm here hysterical. Like the nurse is trying, she felt so bad. And I said, I don't want do this. I know what it's gonna do. I feel like a horrible human being. So I was like a mess. Yeah. But she was really good with me, and I had to go back for 2 rounds of that because the first round didn't do it. Because I'm a big girl. So the first shot didn't get rid of the whole trace of the pregnancy. Yeah. So then I had to go back for a second round. And then there was a whole waiting period after that because then you have to wait all the side effects that the actual chemo shot did that could trigger other things. So we were on a break in terms of treatment, at least until maybe around December-ish, around there, maybe January. I decided I wanted to try again. I did another 3 rounds of IUIs because the first one didn't take. It's like every third. I feel like I've been lucky. So the first intake, the second intake, the third one, I said, can we introduce, I'm not a big fan of needles. So I'm going to tell you that right now. But I said, I feel like with my body, I'm not the norm. Like, you have to give me extra. Like extra hormones. Yeah. So then they started adding more injections in my stomach. And in the third one, I got pregnant again, which I was like, okay, and I was really excited about it. And then
there's got to be like a little bit of apprehension whenever you hear that, like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. It's like, it must be like a dichotomy kind of where you're like excited but scared at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, they tell you at the clinic to be cautiously excited. And I'm like, that's fucked up. Like, I mean, sorry, excuse my language, but it's like, you see what we have
in this podcast?
I know.
You know your friend.
I do. But
you offended her there. You didn't see that face?
She's like, come on.
I was like, what are you saying about me? Right?
And aside, when she talks to me, like, it was just her and me, and we'll be talking at times. And if my mother happens to walk in on this conversation, she'll say, oh, that mouth. She'll say, Lynette, you know me already. Accept me for who I am.
Stop acting like it's brand new.
You know?
You know what I'm saying? Been me
She's like, that mouth. Oh, Lord. But yeah, it's jacked up because you want to be excited, especially because I'm not, like, it's not easy for me to get pregnant. So, but unfortunately, that's who ended in a miscarriage. The numbers.
And this was how far apart from the first one?
Months wise. Yeah. So I got, so I named them all, by the way. Like, I kind of already, so the first, my first pregnancy, we thought it would have been a boy. My mom had like a premonition, so we named him Liam. So Liam, I lost him in August, and I got pregnant. The second one, we just decided to she named the second one Angel. So we got pregnant with Angel, and I lost her around April. It was not too far, like around Easter. Yeah. So with that one, we found out that the numbers weren't going up the way they should. So I think it was just an abnormal pregnancy. There was nothing that could be done. So we lost that one. And then at that point, it was like, my doctor from the store was like, I think you should do an IVF. And I was like, I didn't want to do an IUI. I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to do it as natural as I possibly could. So I was fighting hard on that.
So IUI is when they monitor your egg to see when you're most fertile, and then they put the sperm in.
So they give you hormone treatment too. So the hormone treatment, they're monitoring your egg growth. So you're going for sonograms. They're looking to see how the hormones are helping your eggs to grow along. And then whichever side gives you the biggest, the biggest egg and ready to kind of do that trigger shot, then they'll have you do your trigger shot. And then they do the insemination with the sperm.
Okay. So now explain.
In vitro?
Yes.
So in vitro is kind of like that old school where you learned about like the test tube baby, like when we were growing up. So it's the idea of that they actually have you harvest your eggs, and then they will take, so the whole process is you have to do like a week and a half, I think it is, of what they call stemming. So you have a whole bunch of different cocktails of meds, usually like 2 shots, and then when you get closer to the end, it's a 3rd shot you're doing daily. Now what that does is that it really makes you significantly, you're really extended. I was the heaviest I've ever been in my life. I remember seeing how big my stomach got. So you're really out there because you're getting as many eggs to grow as possible. Now with a person with PCOS, normally I can grow, typically I have over 20 eggs in each ovary. That's way too many for an average female. But that's not uncommon for my condition. So I had about potentially 30 something eggs that were maturing. So I was really quite uncomfortable. And then once you get to a point where they've gotten to a good enough size, they have you take a suppression shot so that I don't ovulate anything. And then they have me come in and they do what they call the retrieval day. So with retrieval day, they put you under. And then what?
Wait, I'm sorry. Before
Yeah.
you keep going, so maturing, you mean like, were they like fertilized already, or
no,
what?
they're just
They're
getting
just
your eggs
growing.
to grow to the point where you would normally ovulate yourself.
Got you.
So
okay.
they're trying. It's like kind of like an enhanced version of ovulation, but they don't want you to release anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
they want to take them out.
Yeah.
yeah, they want to basically like harvest all your eggs, as many as they can.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say I had about maybe 30 something eggs that might have been mature enough. But the doctors explained to me when they put me under that they were only, since they have to go in with a very long needle that's going to kind of like suction the eggs out. Since they have to go through so many different organs and stuff like that, they want to make sure that they only go for the ones that they feel that they can safely remove. So just because I may have had like 30 something, they're going to only take as many as that they felt were safe. So they were able to take out 14.
Wow, that's pretty good.
They took out 14, and I was really, really impressed with that. So then after they pulled out the 14 eggs, from there, the next day I got a call back that 13 were actually mature enough.
Wow.
They got his sperm sample that same day. They treated it like they normally would. So I don't know what they put inside the sperm, but they basically will treat it with some type of solution. I don't know what the hell it is, to be honest with you. There's basically just to kind of like make it I guess give it extra like super boost.
Like
I don't know what
boost,
else you would call it, like a super
Really?
boost.
Wow.
Yeah, and then so with an IVF, they have this whole little terminology. So after they harvest my eggs, what they do next is that they have to do assisted hatching on the eggs, and they also have to do this process called XC. So XC is when they take the sperm individually, and they take one sperm at a time and then directly inject it into the egg to hopefully fertilize the egg. Some other processes, they might do it a little bit. That's actually the most invasive. They might just take the sperm, like a whole bunch of like a clump of them, and just throw the top on the egg and let nature do its thing. But for me, they actually did the XC piece where they did the assisted hatching and they did the XC. Now, the reason I believe why they did that is because since I had 2 miscarriages, the doctor has strongly suggested that I do genetic testing. Insurance does not cover that.
No, it does not.
So that was another, like, I think close to $3,000 that I had to come out of pocket for.
Yeah.
But they cover IVF now, because I thought they weren't really covering IVF either.
Actually, now I know there's more laws in place that they're supposed to be doing more to cover IVF. But luckily, my insurance covers 80% of it.
Oh, good.
So,
that's good.
But the 20% is at least. They told me to set aside at least $10,000.
Yeah, it's expensive.
With the co-pays, the medication.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I want to say I don't think I used. I don't know. I must have spent like maybe close to 10.
Wow.
I had to spend close to 10. Definitely about 3,000 for the genetic testing. So when they did the XC piece, I had to wait a few days, and like on my birthday, I found out that I had 7 embryos.
Wow.
Yeah. So they had 10.
Nice
I think
present.
10 embryos. They got to make 10 out of the original. So it went from 14 mature eggs to 13 that were viable. Then I had 10 embryos out of 13, but then that survived a certain amount of days, it was 7. So I was like, all right, that's cool.
Wow.
So I got 7 embryos. So they froze them. So I'm doing frozen embryo transfers, which is, I guess, like, I think really I did everything that I could possibly do. So they froze those guys, and they took a little piece of they biopsied a little piece of my embryos. And then at the end of August, I found out that out of my 7 embryos, I have 3 that are normal or healthy, and the other 4 are abnormal. So the bugged out part, I don't know if you remember I shared this with you, but the bugged out part was one of the embryos was missing actually the 22nd chromosome entirely. Another one was missing several different chromosomes. I have one that was highly mosaic.
Wow.
So
What does that mean?
There's
yeah,
a
I
lot
know.
missing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a highly mosaic is like a high probability of normal and abnormal cells.
Yeah.
So they won't transfer mosaic babies unless that's all I produce. And they usually would like to transfer low mosaic, not high mosaic, because there's a high chance of miscarriage again. And you don't know what the baby could be born with.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then I had one more embryo besides the other three that actually had, it was XYY. So
Oh,
he had
wow.
an extra set of Y chromosomes.
Oh.
And so I'm like, okay, so what does that mean?
Yeah.
And so the doctor said, well, we don't like to transfer those babies because even though there are people that have XYY that live pretty much normal lives, he said they tend to be your psychopaths, your serial killers. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
No way.
I was
That's what
like,
they say.
okay.
No way.
That's
Yeah.
what they say.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So I learned a lot with that. But I was like, aren't they XYY people are nice? Like, what? How can that be my little Superman? Like, what's going on?
Don't take your chance.
I know. I mean,
you know.
No, but they
Wow,
wouldn't. It's not
very
even.
They
It's
won't
not
do
even
it.
on
They
the
won't
table.
even do it.
It's not on
Yeah.
the table. If it would have happened naturally, that's one thing, but it's not on the table once they know.
Yeah.
And I did some more investigation. They said those people that have XYY chromosomes tend to have more behavioral problems, speech delays,
Yeah.
educational delays. They tend to have they can be abnormally tall for you know for their
Yeah.
you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is fascinating. This is a lot.
Yeah.
This is
So-
a lot.
Yeah.
So, were you gonna go ahead?
I'm sorry, I like do a lot at you guys.
No. This is all very interesting. Like this is really.
So you have three.
Sorry.
You have three. And so right now you're starting,
No, I don't have 3 anymore.
you have
2.
two. You did one already.
I did an IVF transfer last October. So the second phase of this whole bit, I'm not sure if you had any other questions before.
No,
You
keep
know?
going. Keep
Okay.
going. Yeah.
So with the second phase of this is that like I thought that was rough. Like that was the easy part, believe it or not.
Really?
Because now to prep your body to receive the embryo, I have to do it's called estradiol pills, which is more like hormone pills to help me thicken the lining because I don't produce that normally. And then I have to take. I'm gonna show you guys.
Yes, let's see.
So
this.
I'm gonna move. You just gotta let me know if I start. You know.
No, you're good.
So I have to take
This is for
progesterone
YouTube,
oil.
so y'all better.
And by the way, my girl right here, last year for my birthday, she really supported me. She bought me this beautiful shirt. We're gonna have to
What does
read it
it
out
say?
loud because I can't. I don't remember exactly what it says here. It says working
Working on a miracle with love, faith, and a little science.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
and she got me this really cute purse that says I'm IVF warrior.
Oh.
So you have to take to kind of also take the estrogen pills or estradiol pills to help with the lining of uterus. You have to take progesterone oil. So these injections go kind of like on your side or your butt area.
That needle is diesel.
Yeah.
And
So
it goes straight in.
this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's
Do you see how long that is?
it's 1.5 inches long.
Oh my god.
This is the injection one. This isn't as intimidating as. Thank God I don't have to use the needle that they want me to withdraw.
And that goes
the
all the way in.
So this is what I have to use to take out the oil. Now imagine I have to shove.
Well,
this
hold
one.
up. You gotta put that in you?
No.
No.
This one I put in me.
That one goes in.
But I
Okay.
have to switch out the needle head to
Yeah.
this one in order to draw the oil. And then I switch this needle head back in to inject. So I got to take 1 cc of this. Probably, I don't know if anybody can see that, but like
Yeah.
it's like up to there.
I would have been so
Of
bad
oil?
at this too because she's in the house licking it.
Licking
And
it.
I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, there's a bubble. You gotta
Yeah,
get the
you
bubbles
can't put a
out.
bubble in
I
it.
couldn't see the bubble. So I was like, yo, I would have fucked my ass up with bubbles because I couldn't see the bubble.
Yeah, you gotta.
So
take the
do you
bubble.
normally have to have someone administer that for you, or are there times where you do
So
it yourself?
That's the oil if you want to look at it. That's what I'm injecting.
Okay. And are there side effects to these injections?
Sure. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I'm gonna drive myself crazy with it because I feel like I need it in order to get to this part. So I think that whatever side effects they have is gonna be minimal compared to anything else at this point. Like I won't be able to do a transfer without it.
Yeah.
But the funny part is that like you have to. So I'm basically at the mercy of this. So between 7 to 9 every day. If I'm out somewhere, like today, I was at Melissa's house. I had to tell her, okay, I don't know where I'm gonna do this, but between this time, I like to keep it consistent, like between 7 to 8 is when I've been normally doing it. It just gotta happen.
It's going down.
It's going down. And last year when I would do it, it's like, cause it's not normal. Like I don't like needles, but you just gotta suck it up. So you gotta pick a spot on your side, where it's like it has intermuscular injections, where you feel like you have to have like enough.
You gotta grab pinch an inch, basically.
Yeah, basically.
That's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah,
Pinch an inch.
And then you gotta just like they tell you stab it like a dart, and I'm like, how?
It's the easiest way.
I
You
was
try
like
to
this.
go in slow.
No, you have to see me last year.
She
I was
went
like,
in pretty slow, but she was very chill about it. Like she was
Yeah.
just, she didn't squeeze it. She just was like, I was like, my God, that looks horrible. I don't ever want to do this. So what happened with the first time that you did this?
the second one.
You said you're on your second now?
So my first frozen embryo transfer, unfortunately, was a fail. Despite the genetic testing, which will give me a higher probability, putting a normal embryo inside me, it gives you a higher chance of getting pregnant. For whatever reason, the baby did not attach. So I consider it still a miscarriage because they directly put it inside of me. So yeah, it didn't attach. So that was really hard for me. It was like another it's like I did all of this, and the crazy part was, guys, that I saw the embryo on the screen.
You did.
Yeah. And I was like, that little cluster is my baby. I was like, wow, like you really going, like I can see you. And like, so it was a bit much, but I had to kind of regroup. And the doctor told me, well, you can wait a little bit, but you can try whenever you're ready again. I was like, yeah, I need time to heal.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the third one. It's like, it's a bit much. I was going to say, I lost my train of thought, but, so I took my time, but they decided to do in November. So I had the third loss in October. In November, the doctor's telling me, oh, well, what we should do is maybe take a biopsy of your uterus to see if there's any underlying infection as to rule out why, because they couldn't figure out why the baby didn't attach.
Yeah.
My numbers look good. The lining looked good. I was doing everything that I had to do. Oh, and those oils continue on through your first trimester. So every day. So you have to do it 2 weeks prior to transfer, and then you want to continue because then that means the baby took, and it's to support it at least up until the first trimester. I think after that I would be done, hopefully. But they did a biopsy of my uterus. That hurt like hell.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They took a little vacuum to suction a piece of tissue out of me.
Ugh.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm
like it's basically tearing out a little piece of you.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It was bad, but they didn't find anything wrong with me. So I thank God that they didn't find anything wrong. But it's a big, like at the end of the day, it's like science will take you so far, the rest is God. So it's like, I guess he's like, no, not yet.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
What?
There it is.
There it is. There it is. What are the side effects with the IV? Like, are the side effects different from the IUI?
I mean, it's definitely more hormones that I'm injecting. I think
Now with IVF.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel emotionally unstable?
All right. So mood swings, guys.
Women
So
need to know this.
the hot flashes are real.
So do they men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
definitely
because I'm
do.
gonna tell you, I tore my boyfriend's head off I don't know how many times already, and I'm usually very patient. I try my best not to take anything on anybody. I even tried, like, even when I might lose it, I even recognize and I try to say, like, please excuse me, I'm really trying hard, but it's like, if something wears you up, like if somebody gets underneath your skin, you're at like not even 100, you're like at double that because you're just ready to rip their heads off. So definitely mood swings are a really big part of that. the hormone, and I mean the heat flashes are crazy. And I was just talking about this. You get I was very sensitive with my nipple area is extremely sensitive. I was gonna ask,
like, how does it affect you sexually at all? Like, does it affect your sex drive?
Wait, girl,
episode 69, right?
69 episode.
You know what I'm saying?
So, to be honest with you, I have a very high sex drive to begin with. Okay, so being on hormones, I don't know if I'm over the top. That to the point that someone says like, yeah, I'm feeling extra sensitive. I need you. Let's go. And he goes, I feel used. I said, oh please.
Said no man
I
ever.
said, dude, right?
Said this man. Said this man.
Feel used. He said, I feel so used. I'm like, whatever. Get over
As
it.
he goes in.
Do your job. So one time he was tired, and I was like, just lay there. I was like, just fucking lay there. I'll do the work.
You just gotta get it hard.
I'm like,
I just need you hard.
That's it. Tie a stick to it.
Just lay there. That's right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, but I don't know if every woman is the same on this, but I know I'm very extra. Yeah, so I'll be like, no, I need it. Let's go. Yeah, so I mean, pretty much like that is where I'm at with like all of this, but it's
so you're preparing for the next transfer right now. Okay. And then what is the next step after this? Like, God forbid if it doesn't attach this time. Like, what's the next step?
So I have one more frozen embryo. That's like what they consider viable, what they would want to transfer. I'm actually trying to get my doctor to put the last two inside me, honestly. They don't want to, which I think is
What do you mean put the last, like, at the same
To
time
have
to
twins?
put the two
Yeah,
in?
because they don't want
to
take
give
the
it a
shot.
higher probability of one of them taking.
Yeah.
Reason why, I mean, they're like, oh, because then you can have twins. I'm like, so in a normal IVF where we wouldn't do the genetic testing, they would normally transfer 2 embryos.
Yeah.
Because they don't know if the other one's going to take, but because I did genetic testing and I know that I have normal ones, the probability of them attaching is higher. So that's why they won't put 2 in one shot. But then you have this other thing with the insurance coming along, and I literally have 3 more attempts. So if this is a flop, like, you don't want to ever think negative, but it's like, I'm a little, I guess I'm a little jaded at this point. Like, I'm not saying that I don't have, obviously I have my faith to keep going on. But I'm just kind of going through the motions at this point. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I don't want to shoot, like, why can't we just put them both in at this point? If they're going to take, they're going to take.
But they can't bill you twice.
Yeah, you know, but
is
you
that
know,
what it is?
No, but you know
Lord.
what? But they still have,
that.
I still have 2 more attempts. So, like, in other words, you're not cutting, like, you're giving me more of a shot. So then think about it. Then I have to go through stemming all over again and do a fresh transfer 2 times. Like, that's actually more money in their pocket if you think about it.
True.
It's putting me through
So
more hell.
he doesn't want to do it, or
I haven't been able to pull him because, like, now with COVID and
isn't
everything
that
going
ultimately
on,
your decision though?
they have an ethics committee.
Oh.
And
it's
they
not that
they
easy.
would really have to bring it to the table, and I bet they're gonna I tried last time and they gave me so much pushback because they were like, oh, because then you could have twins, and then what if the
So
second,
say you want twins.
like, what if another one pops out, like another one device you have triplets, like,
we'll take 3. We'll take 3.
but
I
it's like
thought
that
that
should be
was-
my choice, I feel.
Yeah, but they're saying because it's artificial now, it's technically not the same. If it happens in nature, it's one thing. That's what God wanted, move on. But they're manipulating the person, so you caused that to happen technically. It wasn't by chance. So
I feel
much
like they'll
by
do
chance.
that for celebrities who are coming out with a bunch of fucking twins who go through this
They'll
process.
probably do whatever they
So
want.
it's
thought
just
that
about
was
the money to
common.
me.
Yeah.
It's sounding like it could be about the money.
Because I thought that was a common thing.
A lot of these celebrities go and
having
have these multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they have
from
IVF,
Yeah.
So
I didn't
that
know
means
that
they
there was,
weren't
like, a
going
whole
one
ethics.
egg at a time.
No,
You know what
but
I'm
it's
saying?
like she was saying before,
so-
depending on the situation, you know, in her case, it had to be individual. But in others, they basically just throw a couple in there and shake it up and put it in.
Yeah, I also think it has probably a lot to do it might be with my, well, then again, I mean, like you said, money talks, but like they also look at your age. They look at I'm already in high risk, and it's anybody at age 35 or over trying to have a baby is
Let's
already
not
high
talk
risk.
about it.
I'm here
doing
with
all types
you.
of risky shit out here in these
But
streets.
you know what? That doesn't necessarily mean anything.
No,
either.
it
There's
doesn't.
women that are out there having kids at 60.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everyone
Yes.
is different.
Yes.
Everyone is
Who's
different.
having a kid at 60?
Yes.
Aside
Look on
the Bible.
Janet.
Look up. Yeah, Janet was one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Janet's different.
Mm.
Bitches make over a certain amount is in a different bracket than regular bitches. I want a regular motherfucking Joe Schmo that's out
Joe
here at
Schmo.
60 having a fucking
No,
baby.
it happens. It does happen.
Yeah,
It's not
I need
a
proof.
rarity.
yeah.
You just gotta look online.
I'm gonna go. I don't trust the internet right now.
Internet never lies. What are you talking about?
Ah.
So, the therapist in me has to ask,
Mhm.
how does this affect your relationship, like going through this? And, it's got to put a lot of stress on your.
Oh, you mean with my boyfriend?
Yeah, yeah.
It does. It does. I mean, he has a daughter already. She's 9. It does, but like at the end of I think for me, the stress came where I felt like I took the miscarriages a lot harder than he did, and I was angry.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember saying to myself, "What am I in this? Like, you're the dad, so that's half of you dying. It's not just me,
Mm.
And so that hurt. So like that, I really got like really really pissed off. But then, I spoke to there's a few coworkers that I became really good friends with who have gone through something similar, and so they try to explain it from a man's point of view to me and how like men bond differently than a woman. Like when a woman finds out she's pregnant, she's already like a mom. She feels that connection instantaneously. And for her father, it usually tends. And everybody's different,
Yeah.
so you can't always say all men are the same. But like usually, typically for a guy, they feel that connection more when the baby's born. At least that's the explanation I got, and so it helped me to like ease up a little bit. But I also was very verbal on my feelings because I was like, you need to validate them. Like they existed. I'm still a mom to them. Like those are my little miracles, whether they were here for like 7 weeks or whatever, they still existed. So it put I think the hardest part that I had though was like, so I'm a school counselor. So going into my new school building so I've been in the DOE for like 13 years now, but I was in one particular school for 9 years. The school closed down. I went into a new building. Walking into that building, 2 of my APs were pregnant, 2 teachers were pregnant, and I just had my first miscarriage.
Oh man.
So I was still literally, it just happened. So it was like I was literally still mourning mourning my first one. And I'm surrounded by all these pregnant women. And then I'm like, they said that school is like pregnant central. Like everybody and their mother gets pregnant, which is true. I can't even tell you how many people are pregnant. Since I've been there, their babies pop out left, right. Every year it's like 3 or 4 people, 4 or 5. Like right now we have about 3 or 4 people that are pregnant. There's like 3 already that just gave birth, and then there's more that are due soon. So I think like that's hard, and I'm not to say because I'm not jealous of anybody or anything like that. I'm genuinely happy for them, but it gets kind of hard in just like keeping your chin up and saying, okay, it'll happen. It's just not your time yet,
right?
And also for me, it's like I'm very open talking about it because I feel like I was very blessed to come across people that were open sharing their story with me, which gave me the courage to continue on this journey, which is why I wanted to do this because I feel like if I can help somebody, I'm going to help them. Yeah. And so I was very blessed that God put people in my life to guide me through this. But when I started sharing with certain people, like, just in conversation, people ask you questions and I'm very verbal about it. The awkward part for me is kind of like the look I get, like, oh shit, what do I tell her? And I'm like, it's okay. And I think one of the most beautiful things I had, one of the nurses tell me, you're a mom, right? And I was done. I was boohooing. Like I had one of those moments because of like, wow, somebody else validated me, like to say, and I felt so humbled by that response because she validated the ones I lost, So that was nice. And then one of my coworkers I was pretty cool with. I sensed that she was pregnant. I really did. So she knew about my journey, what was going on. And I sensed she was pregnant and I felt like she wanted to tell me and she didn't. And then with everything that happened with COVID, she didn't say anything until basically I found like towards the end, we found out that she was pregnant. So she gave birth to the baby in like the end of July. And I wrote to her as soon as she made the announcement. It was like towards the end of the school year over like Zoom. I said, I am so happy for you. Congratulations. That's exciting news. I had a feeling. And she tells me, thank you so much. That means a lot coming from you. And I don't know if it's because I felt like she held back. Yeah. And I don't want people to feel that way. Like I would hate somebody to share their joy just because I may have gone through a painful, journey. It does. I feel like everybody's journey, becoming a parent is something beautiful. Yeah. It should be honored, and I think it should be shared. And just likewise, whatever you're going through, this is also very scary, but there is beauty in this. Like I take away from this, like I may not be a mom full term yet, but like I had life inside me for 7 weeks. Experienced it. I didn't think that was possible. Beautiful. So I take that with me. I feel they're with me. I joke when I say my dad's with them in heaven. I say, all right, Dad, no more. You cannot have any more grandkids. You need to leave some of them with me.
That's a really beautiful way. So I think it's
gonna,
That's a beautiful way to think about it. And I think that's awesome that you are so supportive of others who are getting pregnant, because I can't even imagine how it must feel to see that. And it says something about the people around you that they were sensitive to you and not wanting to make you feel a certain way by sharing their news with you. So they care about your feelings. So that you're a good friend, so man, whew, that is
a lot.
I can't even imagine. Like what do you do for your self-care?
So all right, I took a lot of time, and this one got on me for a very long time. She yelled at me, and I'm glad she did, because I mean I have very honest conversations with myself. Like those check-ins. But I've always had problems with weight. It's part of like this whole condition since I was young. So I've always flip-flop, always been Janita, like the chunky one. All my friends were skinny.
See how she looked at Mel.
Sis, I lost that.
Especially
I lost that.
She could eat when we were kids. She would get a bacon bagel sandwich. Okay. Oh, chips. I remember the bacon bagel sandwich.
It caught up to a bitch in her late 20s. It caught up in my late 20s.
Yeah. And nothing would stick to her, and I would be like,
it's stuck.
And I was like, damn, I just want this little bag of like candy or whatever. And I'm like, that's gonna show tomorrow. I'm gonna stick right in my little chicho, like right there. But so she actually brought it to my attention, and she was like, you need to start eating better, healthier, because, and actually for PCOS, one of the things they say is, so it's like you gotta lose weight, but part of the condition is that you have problems with your weight, right?
Right.
So I want to say with this whole COVID thing, it really got me to slow down.
I was just gonna say that about her.
Yeah,
because she was always on the go.
Yeah,
she was never still.
No.
I was like, you cannot live like this. You have to take personal time for yourself. You have to do something. Sleep more. You got to do something for yourself. Like you can't do this. You can't do this anymore. You got to clean it up. And it took the quarantine for this one here to be forced into slowing the fuck down.
Yeah.
And then she started
I started
watching
jogging.
her meals, her calorie intake, jogging
regularly.
Guys. Like she's over here doing miles.
Wow. So I am the last time I lost a lot of weight, I mean, I lost a lot in college, but the last time I was successful recently was about maybe 5 years ago. I took to jogging, watching myself. I had lost over 20-something pounds. I never could jog a mile. I worked my way up, and I always say this, like, I asked God to train me. I would pray, put on my Christian music. I went from 1 mile to 2 to 3 in 45 minutes. Right. This time around, my chunky butt, the chunkiest I've ever been, and I'm going to throw out numbers. I don't care if I'm shouting myself out, because I really do believe that there's hope. And I think that people need to realize perspectives.
Yeah. Get it out there.
Changing your perspectives, your mind shifts. I also deal with I'm one that's dealt with depression, but you don't have to. You may have a condition, you don't have to stay stuck in it. Right. And I think a lot of people, because it's overwhelming, so I think you feel like you're drowning in it. But like, in all honesty, you choose how long you want to stay stuck in a situation.
Oh, you better preach, girl.
You do. You do, even with depression. And I know.
I'll be drowning in a bitch. And I can stand up. I'll be like, stand up, bitch. It's not even shallow.
It's like ankle deep.
Shallow
you know
water.
what I'm saying?
Stand up. I'll be like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Stand up. Stand up.
It's true. But I went from last year, I blew up to 255. Never in my life have I been that chunky. Okay. So much that even bending down I was getting wind. I'm like, no, this is not cute.
That's where I'm at right now.
Not cute. And then I dropped 10 from
we working on you.
The other thing. It's gonna happen.
No, we started. Anyway, go ahead.
And then so I dropped the 10 from when I was stemming and everything, where I blew up because of the eggs and stuff. So I went from 255 to probably about 245 around there. And then when quarantine hit, I was like later for this. So I don't want to shout out anybody, but I was following my close companion down the rabbit hole and bad eating habits. And I needed to stop because men put on and lose weight a lot quicker than a female does. It's but it's
we
true.
know about y'all.
It's just different. If a man cuts out one thing, they can drop weight like this, right?
I tell them that all the time.
And a woman has to work twice as hard. It's just part of our genetic makeup. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do what I gotta do. So I started using my Fitness Pal that gives you a calorie intake. I can eat whatever the hell I want, just track it better. Bread. I am a bread girl.
Girl, me too.
I love bread, but you know what? I don't miss it. Like I'll have it when I really, really want it, maybe once a week, if that. Like I really pick and choose when I'm having my bread. More protein. I'm into my protein, veggies, whatever. And so long story short, I went from at 245-ish. I'm up to jogging 4 miles comfortably. 5 miles, 6. One time I did 7 twice. Non-stop, 7 miles, which I thought was like, and I did like an hour. I did 7 miles in like an hour and 45 minutes. Wow. Nice. Yeah. So, and it's a slow jog. I'm not fast. I'm like, but whatever, I did it. That's all I care about.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, but so comfortably, I'm up to about 4 miles. I am down to maybe about 215 around there.
Wow.
Nice.
So since March. So yeah, and I'm gonna continue. I may flip flop a little bit, but I'm not giving up.
Good for you, man.
I treat myself. Thank you.
Out here inspiring us.
So it's about health, and they say when the healthier you are, hopefully that also increases your chances.
Yeah.
So they say you be more physical, and I wasn't really physical at all last time. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's great.
You're lighter.
Huh?
Not just weight wise.
Lighter.
Lighter.
Shining, girl.
It helps your mental health. It helps your mental health to work out. It really, those endorphins are fucking real.
No, it does.
It does.
I may be like tired as heck, but it's like the high you get out afterwards. And I think it helps, honestly, if you have a mental focal point. So while I'm jogging, I dedicate my miles. So like I'll dedicate for me, it's like it's a very religious thing for me. So I'll pray during that time. I put on my Christian music. I'll zone out and I'll dedicate 1 mile to the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and then I'll offer a mile up to if somebody's sick with COVID, if somebody's going through a hardship. I often dedicate a mile to my journey, to my babies that I've lost, but I'm grateful for them.
That's beautiful.
For the ones that I have frozen, for the ones that I can't keep, but for me, I'm still acknowledging them. So like for me, it's a very, like I have to attach it to a purpose.
Yeah.
And
That's really good because it pushes you, it motivates you to keep going.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to steal that.
Do it.
Steal that. I like that.
Because then it's like you get hungry to do it again. Like you get that inner drive, and it's like, I'm not gonna say you're not gonna enjoy yourself here and there, but you look at it a little differently.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like that. Oh man, this is a really good conversation. I have a feeling that you're really helping somebody right now that's listening.
So.
I know someone who wants to start this process, so this would be something good for them too.
If there's anybody
Pay
like
attention to,
you can like
learn.
if they get in contact with you, I'm open to sharing. You can let me know. I can share my information with them. Truly, I would not have gotten through this. I know there was. Like, I'm going to shout out one of my girlfriends, Lori, because she didn't get to do the IVF process, but she did the IUI. So when I was scared to do an IUI, she went through it. So she talked me through the whole first initial injections in the stomach. And then she got pregnant and she had her rainbow baby.
Oh,
Because she also
that's
had,
wonderful.
and for her, like her story was so inspiring to me. Like, and I don't want to, because it's private for her, but like her story was so inspiring to me that it gave me strength to go on for my journey. And she was always constantly checking in on me. And I literally met this lady in person because it's a small world. Her mother is her mother-in-law is the parent coordinator that I used to work with for my old job.
Oh, wow.
And I ran into her son and his wife at the clinic. I didn't know his wife. I remember her son because I worked with him for 1 year. But it's like, you don't know if you say, hey. People might get a little like uncomfortable, but we exchanged numbers. My coworker gave me her number. We started talking. I thought that I was going to be a coach, like a motivational person for her. She ended up being that to me.
Wow.
And literally like the love that I got for her over text was crazy. And I met her for the first time a week before I got invited to go to her baby shower.
Oh, wow.
And we embraced, and it was like we knew each other forever. It was just such a beautiful moment. So if I can do like for just an ounce of what she did for me, like I'm with it.
What like advice would you give to someone who's looking to try IVF or IUI? Was it?
So what I would say is, like, if that's what your heart is, to be a mom, a parent, go for it. There's never any guarantee in life, but at the end of the day, so I was talking to Melissa about this earlier. My father was very big on sharing pearls of wisdom with me. So he would like leave little article clippings and different things. And so there was a quote that was once in this article. There's a poem called The Station. And so there was a clip that said, fear and regret are twin thieves that rob you of today. If you're going to go through this, know that you're going to have your challenges. You're not going to get, sometimes you might get lucky right away, and that's wonderful. But go with knowing you're going to be a fighter. You got to fight for this. If you want it, if it's what's meant for you. I mean, I'm scared of needles. I'm stabbing myself with an 1.5 inch long needle. If it's meant for you and you want it in your heart, you're going to do it. And you shouldn't have anything sway you from pursuing it.
Right.
Because you only have this one life to live. And if you want it, at least I can walk away. If this is a fail for me, I can say, damn it, I did everything I could humanly possible to make this happen.
Yeah.
And so if I walk away and I can't have this happen, it doesn't mean the book being a parent's closed for me. I mean, then I could venture out to what the adoption world will look like. But at the same time, I feel like I'm not going to have any regrets because I conquered my fear and I went after it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, nobody else can do this but you. So go for it, because everything that's worth anything in this world, you have to fight for.
You do. Absolutely.
So, don't let fear overcome you, because
do it afraid.
What is it? Face everything and rise. Right?
Yep.
So don't let that fear stand for anything else other than that.
All right. Face everything and rise. Oh,
you got
it.
Wow.
I was like, where did that come from? Okay.
Fear.
Acronym.
So yeah, face everything and
wow.
rise.
Whatever. I never heard that before. I like that.
Yeah, that's still with me too. Yeah, I liked it. So I was like, I'm gonna face it. I'm gonna rise from it.
Oh man, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Zaidy. I learned a lot because I didn't know anything about this process at all.
We've talked about it, but I haven't gotten this much detail about it. So now I'm just like, what the fuck?
Because I probably
you went through that
the whole entire time.
Yeah, Zaidy could barely get through a sentence back then when she would start crying, and then I'd be like,
and then she was like, sorry.
You are strong, girl. You are strong.
Thank you.
Oh man, I pray God continues to strengthen you through this.
It's all him.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Like 150, 200, whatever percentage you want to say, it's all him. So yeah, I just feel like it's needed, and like I'm here. Like I've been through it, and there ain't nothing else that I could probably. Well, I can't say that because there's probably always something, but with God by your side, you can get through anything. So
that's true. That's very true. I 100% believe that.
Melissa.
Well, with that, let's get into the affirmation.
Yes. I love these.
It's affirmation time.
My little simple.
Suelta.
I know, my little simple affirmation. Now after hearing all this, I'm like, I really should have constructed some long, massive affirmation.
This is gonna be like
the
a
week,
one-word thing.
It's a one-liner. It's a two-liner. Whatever. Fuck you, yo.
And now she's gonna throw some positive affirmations
You know?
your way.
The affirmation for the week. I am strong. I will remain positive during this process and stay in faith.
But that's perfect.
Yes, it is.
That's the
That was good,
perfect
though.
summation of
I
everything
know,
she
but
just
I wanted
said.
to like make love
She wanted
to
to be
it. I
funny.
wanted it to be like a paragraph
Like a
long.
10-minute long.
You made love to those 3 words. No.
like a part 2 to the podcast and shit.
I did. I wanted to give like a poem and shit. I felt like that wasn't enough right
Shit,
now.
man, we could have gotten the
Nah,
flutes
it's
out and everything, yo.
So of you.
Oh, man. Thanks again to Zaidy for being here. We really enjoyed having you.
I did
Alright, we hope you guys got something. I know you guys got something great out of this conversation. I sure did. So we will talk to you again next week. Have a wonderful week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening.
If you are enjoying the Common Woman podcast and would like to support, please like, subscribe, and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you would like to contact the Common Woman podcast, you can email us at thecommonwomanpodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us on social media on Instagram @The Common Woman Podcast and on Twitter @Common Woman Pod. Thank you for your support.